talk on the Paul Rodgers Show on 1520 WBZW. Now, here's Paul.
And welcome back to the Paul Rodgers radio program on 1520 WBZW. I am the aforementioned Paul Rodgers. And my guest, Seda, who created a website called bornamusician.com. And folks, if you're songwriters or if you're doing some other stuff that you think has artistic merit, or maybe it doesn't, but you like it, you should check this website out, bornamusician.com. I'm telling you, John has created something that's very, very unique and helpful to young people that are trying to break into the music business. John, welcome back.
Thank you, Paul.
So what's next? What's next for your company?
Well, we're actually translating the website in Japanese and in Spanish. We just landed a deal with a company from Japan called Space Showers Network, which is going to add another 50 stores to what we already have. Right now, our competition ranges between 15 and 60 stores. So we're actually the biggest in the U.S. and Canada, and probably in South America. And soon we'll be the largest in the world. And we're just going to keep on creating things that are going to help artists. In the future, we're getting involved with TV a little bit. That's starting to happen. And there's no stopping, really. You know, you just keep on creating. And our goal, like I said, is to enhance the musical economy. And by doing that is to create events and create all types of situations where artists can, make money from their art.
Do you offer any kind of management services or consulting services to artists?
I have done consulting in the past. I do that quite frequently at my studio, but I don't do management. I don't have the time for it, actually. It requires a lot of dedication primarily to one focused person, and I can't do that at the moment. But I do consulting. And actually, one thing I have posted on my recording studio website, if there's any local artists that are in the area, they can actually come to my studio and I can teach them how to upload it if they're not computer savvy. I'm doing that at the moment, and I do it at no charge because I'm working really hard to get my site, to where it needs to be. And so and it's a positive thing because it's like people come to the studio and say, oh, you know what, I want to record next week, and sure, okay, no problem. So I put a little bit in, it comes back. People can go to my one of my studio, and I can help them if they bring their artwork and the audio. I can run them through the thing, and once they got it down, that's it. They're on their way.
You are kind of like the modern day Sam Phillips. Do you know who Sam Phillips was?
No, I'm not familiar with Sam Phillips.
Was the founder of Sun Records.
Oh, Sam, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He had a little studio.
Okay.
And there were a lot of blues musicians.
Yes, I'm aware, yeah.
Guys that could play the guitar, various instruments.
Okay.
And there were some country guys and et cetera and so forth, and they'd wander into Sun Records and I want to record a song. And Sam Phillips would say, all right, it's $20 an hour, just go on over there in Sun or 10 or whatever.
Right.
Go on over there and sit down, and we'll just fire up the board here and see what we can do. Well,
right.
That's what he did.
Right.
And that's how he found Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, Ike Turner, and unbelievable numbers of these blues musicians that just kind of showed up.
Well,
if they produced something that had value, he would try to see if he could sign them to a recording contract, which he did of 5 of the aforementioned people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got big, he sold Elvis's contract to RCA Victor Records for $75,000. That's a lot of money in 1955.
That would be like $75 million, right?
Oh my gosh, like that. Yeah, but then he did something smart. He took the $75,000 and invested in a new little sort of hotel company that they didn't know what was going to make it, called Holiday Inn.
Really? I wasn't aware of that. Wow.
He was a brilliant guy, but you're the modern day Sam Phillips.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Well, here you are. You're using the internet. You're using all of the technology. You're opening it up to the crowd. You're absolutely crowdsourcing, looking
Yes.
for people to come to you for exposure of their product, and that's
Right.
what you're doing. It's just remarkable.
Thank you. And you mentioned something before, and I'd like to say, like, I'm working with a company out of England called Johnny Boy Records, with the producer John Ravenhall, And we have been able to already focus one artist from the area called Rebecca Skolnick, and she recorded some music. And pretty soon, because of our efforts, she'll be on Universal.
Wow.
So we have dabbled into that. It's not something that we're dedicated to, but when you find somebody that's a gem, it's kind of really hard to not want to help them. I'm very, I would say, very weak when I say great talent. I love great talent, and I don't like to see it go to waste. So I do whatever I can.
I have a grandson who lives in Los Angeles. His name he goes by the name of Peter Wheat, and he writes his own songs and sings them. And I think he's got some talent, but he's out there waiting on tables and living the life. He's 25.
Right.
And I'm going to tell him about Born a Musician, and you may find that he does something. If he doesn't, then he really doesn't want it bad enough.
Right, he's got to work at it. I mean, but feel free to give him my information. I'd love to talk to him.
He's writing songs all the time and singing and doing. But he's 25 and he went to UCF over here and then drove all the way across the country in a Volkswagen by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Why'd you do that?" He said, "Because I wanted to go to Los Angeles." He's a bird. I'm going, "Oh my God, how cool is that?" But anyway, John, this has been no pressure, no hype, no obligation. I just mentioned it because I'm going to tell him about this.
Sure, no, give him my information. I'd love to talk to him.
I don't know what. But anyway, this has been a treat, John. You're a great guest.
Thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that.
Anybody that's interested in getting famous, maybe, or trying to get something online, and if you're musically inclined, you really need to look into bornamusician.com. And the neat thing about folks for us is Tampa's just a little 90-minute drive across the I-4, or maybe it's a 4-hour drive, depending on traffic. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, exactly. You know how that goes. Especially with the ongoing construction.
Oh, but it'll be done someday.
Someday. We'll see.
It'll be done. What do you think?
I don't know.
John, here's what I'd like you to do.
Okay.
The next time you are about ready to take a great leap forward with something new that you're adding, maybe some international thing or something great happens, I'd love you to contact me so that I can get you back on the show.
Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate that. I would love to.
Fabulous subject. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Paul. You have a great day.
You too.
Yeah.